Hey artists, today off the supply table you are going to get a messy paper, you are going to get 2 large sheets of white paper, and you will need a paintbrush. I'm going to start off by putting my name on the back of both sheets of paper. Mr. Calvert and your class code. Mr. Calvert and your class code. Okay, and then I can flip them over. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by drawing out my pumpkin. Okay, so I'm going to kind of start in the center of my paper. I'm going to make this big rounded spot. Okay, this is kind of like one of those bumps on the pumpkin. I'm going to do 2 more to the right of it. 2, 3. Okay, so here's the middle of my paper. I've got 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do 2 to the other side of it. Notice that I'm keeping my pumpkin pretty big. All right. So you should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to come straight down below it. And I am going to do another curve. But it's going to be upside down this time. Okay, so it should be opposites of each other. Okay, so I'm going to do one here. And one here. Okay, and then I got to go to the other side. So it should basically be the same thing, just flipped upside down. Okay, now I'm going to connect the sides. Okay, round it out a bit if you'd like. And the other side. Alright, so there's the general shape of my pumpkin. I can give it a little stem too. Like a rectangular shape. All right, now I need to add some curves on the inside of my pumpkin to kind of round this out. So these each have sections. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to continue this curve down and to the bottom. Same as here, curve down to the bottom. Same as over here, curve down to the bottom. And then my last one. Okay, have the general shape of my pumpkin. All right, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each one of these sections in half. Okay, you could do, let's do a dotted line. That way you don't get mixed up when you go to paint next time. You don't want to mix up this line with, say, like the middle of your pumpkin. So this middle spot, I'm just going to do a light dotted line right down the middle. Okay, this side, I don't want to just go straight down. I want to have that same curve that we saw over here. So I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to do my dotted line or light line. I'm just going to curve it down like this. Okay, do the same thing over here. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. It's pretty light. Curve down to the bottom. Don't just do them straight down, remember. Now this side I'm going to have to switch. Remember, it's got to match this other curve. So curve. And by curving it, it's going to make it look like it has some form, like it's 3-dimensional. And curve it. Okay. When you get your pumpkin drawn, okay, with your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, then we're going to put this up front. We're done with that. Next, we are going to make a gradient background. So we're going to work with our paper going horizontal, so side to side, not up and down. And you need to choose 2 colors that are next to each other in the color wheel. So I'm going to go with purple and blue. I would probably start with the lighter color first. These are both pretty dark, so this one doesn't really matter too much. But if you're going to use something like orange or yellow, that those colors get dirty easily, I would start with that one then. Okay, so I'm going to start with blue, and I'm going to paint about half of my paper. I would actually start probably towards the top and work your way towards the middle. So I'm going to work kind of quickly. As I said, I'm going to save kind of that middle area till last because I want that to be a little bit wet still when I go to blend these colors to make my gradient. Getting close to the middle. Okay, so that's pretty close to the middle there. Just kind of putting some extra on there. I'm going to wash out my brush with my water. Bounce, 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 bounce. Or don't stir it. Then give it a couple wipes on the sponge. Okay, next I'm going to take my other color. I'm going to do the same thing, so I'm actually just going to flip this upside down. Once again, I'm going to start by the edge and then work my way towards the middle of my paper. Actually, I suppose with my second color, I could kind of start in the middle. Blend those together just a little bit. You should hopefully, if your colors are still a little wet, they should start to blend together. And when it transitions from one color to another, that's called a gradient. Spreading out the paint I have. Get all the way out to the edges. Right, when you get this far, you are finished. Okay, so I had my blue kind of transitions into my purple. They might look kind of the same on my smartboard, but there is like a blue, and then it goes to like a bluish purple, and then that purple transition. When you get this far, you can put this on the drying rack. Please be careful not to mix the colors in the paint cups. Okay, we don't want those getting dirty. When you're done, clean up your area. Remember to do your drawing first.